Hi everyone, welcome to the yet another demo number 3 for Brick Starter templates. Brick Starter is a .NET starter template collection that comes with multi-tenant templates with front end of Blazor, Angular, React, Vue, and ASP.NET MVC, along with a single tenant solution as well. So Brick Starter has 10 .NET starter templates, and for anyone who has not seen the previous videos, this particular starter kit is loaded with lots of features. Some of the features has been demonstrated in the previous videos, but today I'm going to continue demonstrating the multi-tenant version uh, of Blazor frontend, and let's do a quick recap. So we recently upgraded all our starter templates to .NET 10 and also added Aspire support for all the templates. So you can see I have already run this multi-tenant template, and it comes with this Blazor, this Aspire dashboard. Now let's go quickly into the. So if I click on localhost 7107. 7101, it will just open up this screen. And in the previous sessions I have shown you how we can pick up the mail settings here, and then once the mail settings are well defined, we can let me quickly copy and paste this password here, and then once we have this email configuration defined, we can go ahead and create a new tenant here. So basically the tenant administrator can also create a new tenant from here, or you can go to the plans, configure the plans, and then we can try and register a new tenant using um, using the normal interface as an tenant administrator. So if I click on create new account and try to create a new one, um, it will provision the separate database, and it will provision a separate database for this one, and then run a migration. Once the migration is run, it will ask you to spin up a new it will ask you to sign up for the plan, and as part of that plan it will ask you to select the which plan you want to opt in for, and how you want to like how many users you want to support. So as part of the basic plan, we have one user with $5 per month. Monthly subscription is already part of it. We have created only one plan, and it charges $5 for every user. So um, looks like the tenant is provisioned, and now you can select this single plan which is available and press next, and then it will redirect to the payment. So the payment gateway, Stripe is used as a payment gateway, so all the plans that you are adding in the backend panel, they are automatically added in the backend to the Stripe, and then excuse me, and then it will be used as soon as you're um, checking out. Since this is a demonstration purpose, once the user provisions and pays, it will automatically redirect to the demo1.localhost, since this is a localhost configuration. But in an actual environment, it will be demo1.yourdomain.com. So you can configure that kind of subdomain URLs as well. So now I already have um, a tenant provision, and since I'm using a mailinator email, I will just go ahead and check the demo1 email here, and then it will ask me to verify the email. So I'll click ahead and click on the verify email. So this email template that you're seeing is manageable through the backend admin panel. Now I'll log into the tenant as a tenant administrator, and then if I go to the my subscriptions section, right now I have only one subscription added over here, and there is an invoice displayed over here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new role and call it employees role, and then set up that okay, this particular user is going to have access to the email templates and user sections and roles section, but it will not have access to the settings and payments section. So this new role is created, but since if you look at our subscription, we have only one user that is supported, and that is the current user that I'm logged in with. So I have to change the plan and add additional users. So I can do it by clicking on additional users, and then I'm going to add 3 more users, 2 more users to this, or any number of users that I want, and then I click next, and then save. It will again redirect to Stripe and try to add a couple of users here, and I'm using a demo card number here because this is a test mode, and I'm doing this again from a tenant admin tenant admin login. So it should add a couple of additional users over here. Yes, now it's added. Now if you go to the my subscription section again, as a tenant admin, you should be able to see that there are total 3 users, and in the payment history we have a couple of payment transactions that you can see. Now since we are able to add more people, more users to this tenant, I should be able to add a new user here. So I'll call it Scott, and then I'm using this open mailbox called Mailinator. The default password for every newly created user is 123QWE, and then once I hit save, it will before I add a user, I'll need SMTP setting, otherwise I'll not be able to receive email. So the previous settings that we have configured was related to the host tenant, and this one that we are configuring is actually the tenant specific one, which will be used for this particular tenant only. So now that we have settings configured, I'll go ahead and add another user. I'll see I don't see I don't see employees role, which I've created over here for some reason. So let me refresh this one, and sometimes it is actually it is actually part of some of the local storage settings. So we just need to sometimes it doesn't reflect the settings correctly, so I have to go and double check the settings here, and settings are reflecting correctly. So now click on roles. Let me add a role called employees again, and then go to permissions, give it a user, email templates, and roles permission, and then press save. Let's see if the user role is added here with that permission. Let me double check it by clicking on the roles here, edit role, and then go ahead and check if this new employee is available. Yes, it's now available. So now if I if I try to add this user, it will automatically get notification, and then that email templates are all stored here at a tenant level in the email templates, which you can manually update. So the email is not sent yet, but if I try to log out and try to log in as Scott 123 QWE, I'll be able to log in and I can see the email templates, users and roles. The email templates are email template user and roles are configured in the Brick Starter in a way so that the user can only see its own data inside it, but that can be easily tweaked using the uh, the code customization very quickly. So let's go ahead and check the email templates now. So one of the email template here is for two-factor authentication. So if you go to setting, and for this particular tenant, if you want to enable two-factor authentication, then this particular email template is going to be used, and then the OTP will be sent over to via email. This is a reset password request, and then this is basically used when user tries to reset the password. Verification email is already there. If you see demo 1 here, this is the verification email that was received, um, and then this is this can be customized. This can be customized as well. So all the emails are using small tokens here. As you can see, user's first name, your app name, these tokens will be dynamically replaced um, by the backend. You should be able to see all the settings there. So since we are logged in as an admin, I can also demonstrate the user interface also supports different languages. Say for example, here I'm trying to switch everything into the Spanish language, and it displays the table headings and then left navigation and also the top navigation into the Spanish language. So the entire supports project entire starter template supports the language switching as well. So the other thing I wanted to show is let's go ahead and see how the two-factor authentication is supported. So I'll just go ahead and enable the two-factor authentication here, and then switch back and log out and try to log in with scott@mailinator.com. So this time, like since the two-factor authentication is enabled by the tenant admin, now any user who is going to log in has to use one of the authentication methods, and these are authentication methods. These are all the authentication methods that are supported. So if I select Google, it will ask you to scan using Google Authenticator app. You can scan this particular barcode and then enter a OTP in order to log in. So this is a first time setup. Let me go ahead and do that. Here, Authenticator app. I'm using my mobile right now, and I'm just scanning this barcode so that I can get the code. 99150. So verify, and now I'm able to log in, and then I can I can add more roles or users, and I can also add more email templates here. So I'll just go ahead and log out, and then I'll try to log in again with the admin account, that is demo1 at the rate. Now it's asking me to do the authentication using the SMS. Let's try that. Sorry, the email. Let's try that out, and I should be able to receive an email for the one-time password. Yeah, it looks like it is not, that specific option is not working well, so we can go ahead and click on email Google Authenticator and then try to log in using that particular option. Let me refresh this query quickly and see if I can get the barcode for login. Let's start over this process again. Just now it's showing a authenticator. Then I can use the OTP in order to log in, and then similarly I can use other options. If I go to settings, I can enter the Twilio related Twilio SMS related settings over here, and it will this particular starter template supports SMS verification, SMS OTPs as well. So there is no option to select like which MFA options to be visible at a tenant level, but you can simply customize the front end to delete the options that you don't want to use or don't want to allow. The other thing that is supported here is um, the name, the tenant display logo that is displayed here in the logged in panel and also in the login, as well as the fav icon, and the text that you want to customize. You should be able to come and customize over here. um, there is a section for social authentication where Microsoft, Facebook, and Google authentication is supported. I'm not going to demonstrate that in this particular demo session, because we are working on every time I change the URL, those URLs are not supported locally to test these authentication methods. But if I once I will switch to the single tenant demo, I'll be covering these demonstrations. So so coming back to the multi-tenancy, I wanted to show you how how the the database looks like and what happens under the hood. So if you see the this is a Postgres server of my local, and Brick multi database that you are seeing here is a tenant database that contains all the tenant registry. So all the information related to the host tenant will be stored here. And if you look at the available tenants, this is the demo tenant that we have created, and the connection string is stored here with full encryption. Um, encryption key that we are using is stored secretly. Either you can store it in app settings, or you can move it into um, the secret storage, and that's how you can secure the this is example of storing the connection string securely, as it contains password and sensitive information. We also stored our email configuration. So if you look at the email configuration, um, that email configuration, anything that's um, sensitive the email password, the SMTP password, is also stored encrypted in the database. Other than this, um, so these are some basic examples of how we are storing the configuration in the encrypted format. Whenever the user is logged in, it automatically provisions the tenant specific database, which is totally separate from the host tenant database, and that is also having, say for example, we have configured a email configuration in there as well, and that information is also stored with the encryption wherever we are storing passwords. And it has some details related to the tenant plans, which is empty here, but but some tables are redundant, because we are using entity framework migration. So some of these tables are redundant, but we are storing everything very securely. The other facility that we have configured is entity history. So there is a open source project that we are working on, and as part of that project, it automatically creates a separate like you can configure a write only database, and that will log everything. It will be hooked into entity framework middleware for your database, and it will generate a connect. It will accept a connection string where it logs all the database level changes as a write only audit logs. So here is a very simple interface where you can select which tables you want to see the data uh, related to the changes you want to track, and then save these. Once you save this, you should be able to see some of the data here. For example, this is admin specific data. So now user table related changes are being monitored. Email configuration related changes are also being monitored here. So if I change something in the say for example, if I'll go ahead and change the port in the setting, port is from 587, and save here. If I come back and select the email configuration, it will display the history here, and then it says that created by user, and then it shows the previous value and current values of the old records and new records here. So yeah, this is something that is also something that we are being worked upon. So this is pretty much it. We have covered pretty much all the features that are supported. Authentication and authorization. We have seen how we have created a employee role, and then allowed permission to select only these three menus, and whenever we logged in as Scott user, we were only able to see everything except the settings and payment and social authentication related things. Um, we also see that as an example of the implementation, we have shown that when Scott logs in, we have not shown any data that is specifically added by admin, and only restricted it to his own data. That can be customized in the code by removing a where condition there based on the permission, but that is just for the demonstration only. One of the other thing that we have implemented is an example of supporting a tenant level payments. So if you want to allow taking payments for the tenants, then you can go to Stripe setting, like the tenant admin can go to Stripe settings, and this will be separate from the subscription settings that we are storing here. So the subscription settings for the host tenant is stored in the app settings that you can move to some secure settings, and then tenant related Stripe settings will be stored here at a tenant level, and it can be used to implement the tenant specific payments like this one. If I click here, it will just redirect with this particular item payment, and then it will allow to accept based on that specific configuration that is used in the settings. So we talked about multi-tenancy, where we have seen data isolation and data encryption, subdomain based tenant routing. We have already seen that how demo1.localhost is pointing to the demo1 tenant and only displaying data related to demo1. Full tenant management panel, where we can um, manage the tenants here. I can go ahead and edit this tenant to make it uh, to make some changes to this, or make it inactive, and then I can also go to tenants and then log in as tenant administrator. As a super admin, I should be able to do that, and then in the view tenant, I can also see the current plan for this particular tenant, and I can also cancel this as an super admin. So these are all the tenant specific um, tenant management features. Then we have seen the multi-tenancy with the email, SMS, and authenticator apps. We have seen the billing in the my subscription section, and email transactional email template management. We have seen how data encryption is implemented in the database, and pretty much all the other features that are listed here are demonstrated, except for the Twilio SMS configuration and a tenant level social authentication that I'll be covering in the next section. So this is all for today's session, where we have covered multi-tenancy or a SaaS solution with the Blazor option. If you're building a new SaaS or multi-tenant application in ASP.NET Blazor, and if you want to save lots of time implementing these boilerplate features, you can use a Brick starter template for Blazor multi-tenancy, and you can do that. There are lots of other demos that I'm going to do, and the minimal documentation is available in the Brick starter blog that you can follow in order to easily follow the basic steps. All the source code is included, and you can get full source code for commercial use. Single project and multi-project options are there. So if you want, you can purchase the unlimited project license, and it's convertible once you purchase a single project license, and later on you want to upgrade to the unlimited project, you just need to pay the balance. We also offer the customized version, where this if you don't like this user interface and you want to implement a customized user interface along with all the features for a single license, we should be able to do that for you with the exact designs implemented for you. And finally, we have a done for you service for building an MVP, where we can build your SaaS MVP or business management tools or anything, and then that will we will not charge you the single project license in that case. So yeah, this is all about the Brick Starter Kit Blazor multi-tenancy version. On Friday same time in the next week, in this week we will be meeting again to demonstrate the single tenant solution, single tenant starter template for Blazor, where we will be covering the social authentication and possibly a couple of more options that we haven't demonstrated in the multi-tenancy environment. So subscribe to this channel to continue knowing more about what we are working at Brick Starter Kit, and keep in touch. Thank you and have a very good evening.